Welcome to the podcast where we take a deep dive into the stories behind construction business leaders. We will share how they got started, how they found success, and the lessons learned along the way. I'm your host, Eric Fortenberry. Welcome to Builder Stories. Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Tom Morris, the co-founder of the Selah Group, and they are a general contractor primarily focused on outdoor living. They've got operations both in North Texas as well as in Palm Beach, Florida. Really excited to have Tom on the show today. I've known Tom for many years now. He's been an awesome advocate for JobTread. We've learned a lot by working closely with him and his team, and I'm confident you've got a lot of great success stories to share. So happy to have you on the show. Welcome to Builder Stories, Tom.
Outstanding, Eric. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, we have stories for days, so I'll be as concise as I can be. But I have to say, we are thrilled to be here, and we love JobTread.
Awesome. Well, so why don't you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what Selah Group does?
Well, Selah Group was founded by three of us. One an industry trade professional, 30-year pool builder, and outdoor specialist. Rudy Flores is just outstanding. We brag on him. We call him the yard whisperer. He's the guy that can show up in the backyard. He can look over a backyard and tell us exactly what the backyard wants. But the guy can also get it done. So Rudy Flores is a co-founder, fantastic individual. Can't say enough. He's just this side of family. And speaking of family, the president of the company is my wonderful wife, Lori. Lori is the glue that holds us all together. But most important, Lori is the customer advocate. She's the person that really makes sure and stays on top of, and the customer gets exactly what they want. Lori is very focused on customer service and the customer experience, and award-winning at that. Me, I'm a little bit behind the scenes. I'm business, marketing, and engineering, and I'm just thrilled to be part of the team.
Awesome. So what do you guys do?
Custom outdoor environments. So 6 years ago, we had the notion of starting a pool company. Slowly but surely, of course, we learned that there's a whole lot more to an outdoor environment than a swimming pool. Good news is Rudy has the capability and I've got the engineering chops. But more importantly, what we find is we're a general contractor and we do designs. Most importantly, we're able to get those designs into reality.
That's awesome. So Tom, how did you get into all this? I mean, what's the background? What did Tom do before, and how did you guys, you and Lori, end up in this outdoor living business?
Well, it's a long, great story. The short version is when I moved to Texas, I got into the oil and gas industry because they threatened to revoke my citizenship when I moved from Florida if I didn't get in oil and gas for at least punch my ticket at least once. So I found myself in the oil and gas fracking boom, building pipelines across the country. And I was doing information technologies. I ran a company that did IT. And Eric, we were all over the country, all the flyover states you can imagine, all the way from Pennsylvania to Colorado, West Texas, etc. Money was great, but it was exhausting. It was a lot of travel, a lot of time away from my family. So Lori decided one day enough was enough. Now that I'm in construction, let's build a construction company. And she had me at construction. I love outdoor. I love the creativity. But most importantly, once again, Lori is the glue that binds us all together. She connected Rudy and me for more engineering, Rudy for design and construction, and the rest is history. It's just been a fantastic journey.
That's awesome. So what's the structure of your team look like? I mean, obviously it's more than just the three of you.
Right. There's a couple dozen of us. Everything we do is contracted out. So I like to say we don't build anything. We design, we engineer, we market. That's the core competency of Selah. But of course, project management is crucial, and so is financial management. So think of Selah as a general contractor, but really a professional services firm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so is this something that you've started off right in North Texas? Tell us how did you decide to expand to Palm Beach? I mean, was it just you wanted to go out there, or you saw the demand there? How did you most people kind of start off their business and really just focus on one kind of local area, but you've had the notion of, well, let's take North Texas and Palm Beach, Florida. Tell us about that.
Well, it's again, I look forward to JobTread Connect, where we can meet people individually because these stories can be very lengthy. The short version is I'm a very blessed man. I got to Texas by way of Florida. So I owned an engineering company in Daytona for many years. I had an opportunity to move to Texas. My kids were getting ready for college. Texas colleges are awesome and they've been great to us. Go Raiders. I'm sorry, guns. Yeah, there you go. At any rate, um, Texas has been fantastic, but I have so much infrastructure and so many colleagues here in Florida. And because Selah has grown up into the, we'll call it the high end luxury and commercial business, Palm Beach County essentially is just an amazing place for high end and luxury. So we're not here to boil the ocean. I'm actually calling you right now from Florida. We're here to do just a few jobs really well. And that's what's exciting about Florida. Florida is an unusual place because it requires a lot of networking. You can't walk into the Florida market unless there is a reputation, unless people know you and trust you here. We can't market our way into Florida. The good news is we have many general contracting colleagues here and things are looking great.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at your website and when I think about Selah, I think very high end, very luxury, extremely high quality product. I mean, is that, who are you targeting? I mean, who do you view as your target customer?
Absolutely. I am so blessed. First of all, Rudy is just such an amazing designer and such a visionary. And Lori is too. She very much understands the big picture. And of course, she has our home is wonderful. She has a flair for style and design, very clear. So we're a visionary bunch, and it lends itself very much to the high end and luxury. We do have a lot of other folks that are on the team. And boy, I'd like to give you a list, but interior designers, architects, we have a material supplier in Garland, Burlington Materials. Again, if a customer wants to invest $13,000 in a granite top, or actually unlimited money in a granite top, we are the place to go. Bottom line is our customers also get the value. And we might be high end, we might be luxury, but most importantly, what I love about Selah is we actually get the job done.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's your average ticket size?
Well, it depends. And I just had that conversation here in Florida a few weeks ago. We've got a few $1 million home down here, renovation remodel. Question was very point blank. What do you think your budget is? It's, well, ma'am, it depends. Do you want a pickleball court? Do you want a putting green? Do you want fire features? Do you want this? And her answer was yes, yes, yes. So in her case, the answer is about $500,000 for her backyard. And this is a single family residential home. Now, obviously, a $2 million home in Florida relative to a similar home in Texas, a very different home. Good news is very large backyard in this case. So we operate well north of 6 figures, but we're honest. It doesn't matter. If somebody just simply wants we've done ponds, a koi pond, or outdoor dining. So without a pool, whatever the dream is, that's what we do. So the range is certainly in the 5 figure category, well in the 6 figure category. Then, of course, we're a commercial builder, and one of our big builds in Princeton, Texas, right now, well, that's a 7 figure build.
Wow. So have you always targeted kind of the upper end, the high end projects, or did you ever, in the beginning, what were your deals like early on?
Early on, we were always clear that we were not going to be the low price. We were never going to compete on price because we find builders can cut corners, particularly underground, that the homeowner just doesn't see. Circulation, sanitation, many corners can be cut to reduce price. So we try hard not to focus on price. Now, obviously, everyone has a budget. We operate within the client's expectations, but candidly, yes, we prefer to go for a full customer outdoor environment relative to just basically, as we say in Texas, we don't dig a hole and fill it with water, put it that way.
Sure. And one thing I've always known about you, you're very keen on marketing. So I'm curious, where do you guys go for marketing? Where do you find that your best leads are coming from? What avenues are working well for you? What maybe what hasn't worked well for you?
Right. Well, in Texas, traditional marketing, what we consider nowadays traditional marketing. So this is, of course, social media and web, SEO, SEM. All those things are very important to us. We prefer networking. We prefer referrals for obvious reasons. We are on the high end. In Florida, it's not possible to market into Florida. It requires networking. So we meet people at events. We were just at an event yesterday with a large builder. We also talk with a community of people. And candidly, I'm going to segue a minute. That's what we love about JobTread, because it does require the community and reputation. We can't Facebook our way through that reputation, put it that way.
Yeah, makes sense. So tell us a little bit about what's your sales process look like?
Our sales process is great. The business side of me takes over a little bit. We tend to give it away, which, it generally works pretty good. But what you'll find with Selah is we listen, we visit, we measure. We've recently introduced LiDAR technology, for example, for our first meetings, but we come to our homeowners and we have conversations and we listen to their dreams. Homeowners are different. Obviously, if there's a family, there's one topic. If there are grandkids, there's another topic, those kinds of things. So it's very much a consultative style. We're actually consulting. Then, of course, a lot of measurements, a lot of engineering, custom designs, 3D renderings, all those things. And then hopefully they go with us.
Yeah. And so are you charging for that design and engineering work, or is that something that, like, how do you think about that? I see a lot of people that, like to charge, very early on in the process. And then I see some people who, they just kind of consider it part of the process and it's part of trying to win the business. I mean, is that, how do you guys handle that?
We truly consider it part of winning the business. We're here to earn trust. And one of the ways we earn trust is through our sales process. And then, yes, in fact, we delivered hundreds. We are actually over 5,000 unique 3D designs. We have not built 5,000 builds. So you get the gist. Generally, we give it away, put it that way.
Yeah. Well, that's, I'm always impressed when I see people who do that, because I know, I mean, you tell me though. I mean, how many hours do you feel like you're sinking into, a prospect there that you really don't know if you're going to win or not? I mean, like, what is 5,000 designs? I mean, how many hours is that?
That's no joke. When we say 5,000 designs, we have a cloud computing system and an artificial intelligence infrastructure. We are containing hundreds of hours of videos, tens of thousands of images, both 3D and real. Now you've triggered the business sense of me, which is yes, the idea is to drive that process down and lower the overhead cost. And JobTread has made a huge difference, particularly in estimating. You have to remember, I come out of an automotive and aerospace background, and yes, oil and gas. So I'm familiar with the notion of we have to engineer the job to get the job. But with JobTread cost estimating, that is just one of the arrows in our quiver, probably our biggest arrow at this point in time, to reduce the overhead costs to get into the door, build the trust in the relationship. But yes, it is that front end work, and we're taking a risk.
Yeah. Well, it's clearly working and paying off for you. So by all means, keep doing it. I remember when you first joined us at JobTread, we worked very heavily with you to help build out your catalog. And, really, I mean, you had just an enormous amount of data. I mean, the data that you have amassed over the years, is all there, but, you wanted to partner with us to help kind of get it, boiled down and into a way that we could, just more easily import it, because it's, thousands and thousands of lines. And so, I think that, it seems like that upfront work has paid off well for you. It's helped you turn out those estimates a lot quicker.
Eric, I am so thankful. You guys, JobTread has been so patient. Travis, yourself, Alex, everybody at the JobTread team, all the new folks, your development team, many names, forgive me, many names escape me. But yes, we were very unusual. We continue to be very unusual. Some of that is by heritage. We're very complex and very custom. And I have to be honest with you, a lot of it is driven by my personal experiences over the years. I had the clear vision of what needed to be done, but it wasn't until we had arrived at your doorstep, we darkened your doorstep, and you let us in, that we had a partner that we could actually execute that vision. And candidly, it always takes longer and costs more than you think it should, but darn it, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things you've always been a real big advocate for is, really making sure that you've got the right processes, systems, technologies in place. And, whatever you got to do to get them set up so they're working well together. I think, a lot of people sometimes think of it as an afterthought, and they're just kind of, churning their wheels and going from, one prospect and one, estimate to another. And they don't take that time to stop and think about, how can I do this in the most efficient, scalable manner. And that's something that, I think you've really done a great job at. And, I don't know, any thoughts you want to share on kind of the importance of, setting up those systems and processes and how it's helped you.
And thank you. You work with so many folks in the job trade community, and I take everything you said as a compliment. My answer to this, first of all, in automotive, I work with Japanese transplants, and it's almost like military service. You can't unlearn the things that I've learned over the years. So it causes me to think a certain way. Okay. But what that means, first of all, we must be good stewards of our resources. And our resources includes our customers' money. So if we think about it from the customer's perspective, they don't pay for estimates, they're paying for a swimming pool. So how effectively can we deliver what they're actually paying for? That leads to a great journey all by itself. But the challenge I have is that the construction community and the contractor community really does look at technology as kind of a tail wagging the dog.
Yeah.
We are in the advent of the artificial intelligence age. Those of us that are onboarded with technology are going to leave behind those of us that are not onboarded very quickly now. There is going to be an enormous gulf between the way we used to do things and the way the best of us do it now. I cannot overemphasize for your audience the importance of job tread, of good technology. Eric, this is a challenge for me because I could go on a rant here. What I love about job tread, it was the right idea at the right time, because your team built in modern technology in a modern infrastructure, and you scaled it and designed it in the way that contractors needed it to be. You couldn't have done what you did 10 years ago. And
No.
10 years from now, it's going to pay off for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what would you say have been some of the biggest challenges that you faced over the years building your business?
Marketing is always a challenge, particularly with tradesmen. Tradesmen are really good at their trades, but running businesses is always a burden. Modern America, lawyers, but marketing, getting the word out. When we only have a few seconds of attention, and we know we're the better builder, but it's really challenging to get that word out. So I would say getting the word out that, in fact, if you want the best, this is the best. We are not the cheapest, but we are competitive. So marketing, I think, is truly the biggest challenge we continue to face.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys seem to do a very good job, even using your existing work and showcasing all of the high quality projects that you've completed. And I see tons of videos that you guys curate and like kind of getting that out there. I mean, you definitely do a great job at that.
Thank you. There's two things as words of advice I would give. Number one, collect all the images and video and data that you can and store it like a gold mine. This is the intellectual property. Don't pitch a design because somebody didn't buy it. There's a tremendous amount of value in that design. It can be repurposed. That's number one. Number two, brother, I got to tell you, the marketing that we've been doing, goodness sakes, in the last 6 months, the evolution of artificial intelligence in our marketing efforts, it is amazing what can be done in minutes, which used to take hours, days, months, years. Okay. Why that's important? The artificial intelligence and all the engineering and all the technology, that's wonderful. It doesn't mean anything without content. Get the videos, get the pictures, get them up in job tread, store them. I love the fact that our supervisors can get images as they go, collect that information, because a year, 2, 3, 5 years from now, that is absolutely a gold mine. That is your marketing message.
Yeah, absolutely. And since you brought it up, I mean, why don't you tell us a little bit more, more about, AI and how you see, that benefiting your business and how you think it might be able to benefit other businesses. Cause I know, you've got a ton of experience with that. You're, lots of experience, kind of working with some other, larger companies to implement it and to explore it. So maybe a quick little, side conversation about AI and your thoughts on that.
All right. Well, thank you for the open door, and I'll try and be quick. It is a very deep topic. So several years ago, I put myself at the University of California, Berkeley Haas School of Business, Artificial Intelligence School, because I knew this day was coming. In November of 2022, ChatGPT was launched. That is the fastest consumer application adoption in human history. And I believe the answer is there were several million people within 3 months It took Spotify 2 years to get to the audience that ChatGPT got in 2 months. So
Yeah.
when we say artificial intelligence truly is changing the world, it is truly changing the world. Now, what does that mean to us? What does that mean for contractors? I was just down at Florida Atlantic University. The Mark Cuban School of Business Artificial Intelligence wing just opened up. I can tell you, to me, what it means universally in business. First of all, if you have any relatives in the finance industry, or candidly the legal industry, or I know you're a computer science major, or computer science, yeah, don't put your kids to computer science school. Don't look at law, don't look at finance, because those industries are currently being gobbled up by artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
You have to remember that a lot of the legal trade traces back 6,000 years to Mosaic law. So all that information is publicly available, which means that AI bots are eating it for breakfast. Okay. But there is hope. Professional skilled trades, custom builders, the folks that are on this call right now, the job tread customers, your day has come. Specialized, your talents, your specialty trades, they are truly set apart in this world, because this audience adds value. You add value in ways that simply can't be replicated. The news is great, but you have to stand out in that crowd. And it comes down to being able to use artificial intelligence for marketing, for messaging. By the way, I'll be speaking at Job Trade Connect. Our friends in Australia, Canterbury, if we're not using Canva, please use Canva really, really soon. When it comes to artificial intelligence, that is absolutely positively a great gateway for marketing. So that's, and again, at Job Trade Connect, anybody have any questions, I'm happy to talk to them.
Awesome. So I'm curious. I mean, Tom, you've seen a lot, and I know that you're constantly looking at, other companies' businesses. I mean, you've even, as I understand it, kind of looking at potentially acquiring other, construction companies. I mean, is that something that, you think is going to happen in the near future? What's the plan there? What do you look for? What do you think is important when evaluating other construction companies?
Well, it's interesting, and thank you again for opening the door. There is a nexus event. The advent of artificial intelligence is occurring during a thing called the silver tsunami. Let me explain the silver tsunami. This is silver, right? The graybeards. So the tradesmen that have been operating companies for 20, 30, 40 years generally are looking for the exit. The boomer generation really is looking for, what am I going to do next? How do I exit this business? Or my kids don't want to take it over, or by God, too much work. So yes, in fact, I am in the process. I do own a holding company. The notion of rolling up companies is important to me, but not as a predator. In business, there are two types. There are captains of industries and predators. We are not predatory. We are interested in synergies. So when you think of what Selah does, swimming pools, outdoor fire pits, pickleball courts, those are specialty trades. There's a lot of synergy in combining those trades into one offering, which is why we're emerging as a general contractor. But what that means to us as we look for companies to acquire is that we simply want to relieve the burden of marketing, of engineering, of design, and yes, finance, so that the tradesmen can be liberated to do the great work that they do. I hope that makes sense to you, but truly I'm passionate about those tradesmen. We occupy a very powerful space in a wonderful tribe called skilled trades, and I'm thrilled to be here. I just want these people to be successful. Them that jump on board, people that'll adopt job trade, for example. I want to see those people actually get what they deserve in a good way because they work hard. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm curious, how do you define success?
To me, the definition of success, especially at my stage of my career, is that, as I mentioned, there's a lot of people that work very hard, and particularly in skilled trades, those folks tend to be on the short end of the stick of the entire process. To me, I would like to see very much to have a lot of really well, and money's not everything, well paid, well incentivized people that generally do thrive in their marketplace. To me, our success at Selah Group at Selah, Florida, general contracting, it's measured by the fact that we've got people that own homes, put their kids through college, and don't have to work like dogs to get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that I've always very much appreciated about you is you're all about paying people what they deserve and making sure that everyone, whether it's your employees, whether it's your your vendors, whether it's partners, whoever it may be, like you're all about making sure that they're well taken care of, and really even more so than the money, like you want them to be motivated, because I think better than most that like if you have somebody who is motivated and passionate about what they're doing and wanting to help and wanting to do a great job, that's how you ultimately are able to deliver the best results. And I'd say kudos to you for for having that mindset.
Thank you. I think if you had to put a fine point on it, this is why I've got a sweet tooth in marketing, because marketing reminds us of the great work that we've done together. And that gets me out of bed in the morning. When we see those beautiful videos and pictures, so many times builders will go out and they'll work so hard and then they leave the job site never knowing. But when we get a testimonial from a guy who's doing scuba diving training in his backyard for his next trip, and Joe Champagne says, we couldn't have done it without Selah, everybody needs to know that that's motivation.
Yeah. You talked earlier about working hard, and I mean I think that's obviously one of the pillars for any successful entrepreneurs, putting in the time, and the sweat equity to be successful. I mean I think that's also one thing that I admire about you. I see how much you're traveling from one place to another. You're constantly on. I mean, you and I frequently have conversations late at night. So how do you go about thinking about having a work-life balance, or does that exist for you? I mean, obviously with you and Lori running the business here, I mean, what is it kind of what's your day-to-day life, and how do you manage work and other things?
Well, there are two things that come to mind. I'll come back to work-life balance in a moment. One of the things I truly love about this industry, particularly even the folks at JobTread, working for a living is not a dirty word. It's not a dirty job. Now, it's really come home to roost that I'm here in Palm Beach County, Florida, because I am surrounded by people who want to be real estate millionaires. They feel like all they have to do is wake up in the morning and their money's going to fall from the sky in real estate. That's not work. It's not going to work out. And anybody that's investing in real estate, 93% of the billionaires, 93% of the Fortune 500 in the world, they got their money in business. Then they took that money and got into real estate. 7% out of the 93% actually started and engaged in real estate. Donald Trump. Anyway, those of us that work for a living know that really the reward is the great work. So yeah. Work-life balance, I am absolutely the wrong person to talk to about that. I enjoy business. I've always been blessed in my career to enjoy the people that I work with and the work that we do. And I honestly don't feel like there's any way to compartmentalize that. When you and I speak, it lights up my day. It might be 7 o'clock at night, but Eric, when you and I chat back and forth, working with like-minded people, it beats the heck out of a round of golf. It just does.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, Tom. I subscribe to that as well. I mean, I very much it's something that you can't help but just constantly thinking about, and I mean I definitely try to be as present and as active with with the kids and my wife. Every morning I try to wake up and have breakfast with them, and usually take my daughter to school and then try to make it home by dinner, or at least to help get them ready for bed. But it is right after that I'll typically hop right back on. And I mean, last night I had a customer, we're chatting throughout the afternoon and evening about something, and end up he's like, hey, if you're available, why don't we just hop on the call? And so I hit him up, and we talked for like an hour. Like it's like 11 or 12 at night last night. And I mean, it's just it's the thing that you just feel naturally like really driven. And I'm all about it too. I see that in you, and I think that's something that's how that you were meant to be an entrepreneur, is when the constant thinking about it doesn't like overwhelm you or stress you. It energizes you and it excites
you. Eric, here's the thing. JobTread, it thrills me. There's a community here, and we can invest our time in social media, and I'm not a big fan. Okay. But the electronic technology that we have available, here I am in Palm Beach County, Florida, you're back in Texas, I miss my family at home, but literally we can connect. JobTread connects us in this way with our subcontractors and our field supervisors, with the office. All those barriers become unblocked. Now it's up to us to use our power for good. And our good in this case is, yeah, I get energized through these conversations. It beats the heck out of scrolling through social media at 10 o'clock at night. Just does.
Yeah. That is, I think that is one of the really neat things that, that we've been able to do with JobTread is that, is building that community where, people can help each other and they enjoy collaborating. I mean, they're collaborating not only with my team, but with each other. And like, you got, people who don't, they kind of, when you got people all over the country, they can lower the barrier, and take down their walls of like being worried about, helping their competitors right next door to, hey, you've got a similar business. I've got a similar thing. Let's talk about our challenges. Let's be open and see if we can help each other both build better businesses. And, I think that's just such a neat thing that, that we've been able to do. And, I'm with you too. I always prefer the in person, but, next best is if we can at least get on, a video call. Obviously we are big on, Facebook, and our JobTread Pros group is, is very active. And so that is another, unique way to communicate and kind of keep everyone together. But, certainly, I look forward to JobTread Connect, our annual user conference every year, where we'll have hundreds of people come in and we can,
Right.
take this time to be
Right.
together.
Right. To me, and forgive me, this I'm going to riff a little bit. So family, tribe, nation. JobTread and specialty trades. I run a family operation. I'm part of a family operation. JobTread, very much a family operation. Family, tribe, nation. There's a tribal sense in specialty construction and specialty contracting. People that, and I say it again, I have great affinity for people who actually work for a living and bring value. And it's the way I grew up. I grew up in factories instead of the construction site. Nonetheless, I love construction. From tribe to nation, we are a nation of tradesmen. We are a nation of builders. JobTread Connect is literally connecting the tribe and turning it into a nation. And I am thrilled to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate, your involvement as well. And, I know you brought out the entire team last year, and, this year we've got you, got you up on stage, going to be doing a presentation, again, sharing some of your insight. Obviously, Tom, it's, it's really, an honor for us to be able to work with you, who you've had so much success. Obviously you've had a lot of trials and tribulations along the way, but, for you to be willing to give back and to share, to help others be able to have that same success is, just very much appreciated. So, thank you for everything that you do to give back and help others in the community.
So thank you for the opportunity. It is a joy in my life. At this stage of my career, this is what gets me out of bed in the morning. Yeah, nice car in the driveway, great home, wonderful family, but being able to give back to the next generation and the talented group. And I get that I'm a little bit of an unusual guy at my age to understand artificial intelligence. I do understand artificial intelligence, but more importantly, at JobTread Connect, let's talk about scale for sale. Always keep your eye on scale for sale. Even if you don't sell, it will be a better run business.
Yeah. So you want to give us a quick preview of what that presentation will be about?
Well, candidly, I don't know if there's a quick version. As a matter of fact, I've got to dial it down to a presentation version. But again, there's a great book that I read 20, 30 years ago, Pursuit of Excellence. And this is what started my career out with process-oriented pursuit of excellence. Always have your business ready for sale. Consider it a franchise prototype, process, procedures, all those things that when somebody came in to buy your company, they would look at it and say, okay, this is a well-run business. These people are great. If you never sell it, you'll always be better off. Think of it just like a car. Don't maintain it, you're not going to be proud of it. It's not going to be reliable. Maintain it, always have it ready for sale. You'll probably keep it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, again, I really appreciate your time here today, Tom. I mean, maybe in conclusion, wrapping up here, do you want to give any final, if you had to summarize kind of the best pieces of advice that you would want to share with other contractors who, are striving to have the same success as you have, what would that advice be? What do you wish you knew, starting off your business that you know now?
Oh, we're a creative bunch. This community is a creative bunch. So the creatives tend to be a little bit on the right brain side. Don't neglect the analytics. Don't neglect the financials. The good news is JobTread plugs that hole in QuickBooks. My advice, get on board and understand finances inside and out with JobTread, 100%.
Awesome. Well, Tom, again, really appreciate you spending this time with us today. Look forward to seeing you in person again at JobTread Connect. Look forward to you sharing all of your wisdom with everyone out there. So, just thank you again for everything that you do for the community. And can't wait to see you speak at JobTread Connect.
All right, brother. I look forward to it. It's a privilege.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Builder Stories. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and gained valuable insights that can help you in your journey along the way. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave us a review. And as always, if you or someone you know has a story to share, please contact us at builderstories.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Eric Fortenberry, and remember, every builder has a unique story. Keep building yours.